it's just like a process of maturing, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
that like I went through, and now I consider myself a different person.
Hi everyone, it's Tom reporting from the LEC Spring Split, and with me here is Neon, who just went 2-0 in the third week of the LEC Spring Split. And, well, I guess that must be pretty good, going 4-0 instead of 0-4. Well, it started in after week 2, but yeah, pretty chill.
Indeed. Well, now, was that a question? Well, like,
Tell me how you feel, man.
I mean, as opposed to going 04, which I'm not sure if I did before because I got like subbed in,
Mm,
but it feels pretty nice.
mm-hmm.
Like, not gonna lie, but it's still like we have a lot of work to do, so
Right.
I don't really let it get to me too much.
Mm-hmm. Where do you think the work lies then? Because if I compare you guys, especially to the first week, you guys seem to be in line where you are as a team. They seem to be in line how you want to play the game and how you should approach the game. So what is there left to be improved then?
Well, basically, like each week is different and each patch is different, and teams like constantly improve or get worse, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So like we might be really good these 2 weeks, but next week we can just go back to being bad because, you don't work as hard as you did before, or you like get a bit complacent, and then suddenly, you just make like stupid mistakes. And the important thing right now is that we all recognize this and we just keep in check and keep working as hard as we were till now, and just don't let the wins get to us. Don't think that we're good now and we're gonna beat everybody. We just need to keep the mentality of, you know,
Level
we're not
headed.
the best. Yeah, like level headed, like we're not the best, but we can compete with the best and we can be the best if we like put all the work in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you had specifically had great games. You went 7-1 and 7-2, I believe, both on Kaiser in the matches. So did you feel going into this weekend, okay, I'm feeling in shape, I think I can really carry hard, or was it just did it follow the state of the game that you just picked up so many kills?
Well, to be honest, I felt good and confident in my ability, and the drafts I was given, I was also happy with. So, and
Mm-hmm.
on the day, I felt good, and to me, I played good. I knew what was going on at all times. So it's just good drafts and good atmosphere, good mood on the day, and all this combines for like,
Everything just clicked.
yeah, I mean, our last 4 games, everything has kind of clicked. Yeah, I would say that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good to hear. You touch on the draft, and that's definitely something I want to talk about as well. Many people have been saying that you guys have had great drafts, and I think especially against the game in Rogue, the broadcast as well really hyped up how well all of the champions work together. So how has that been on the team working out the drafts? Who comes up with these? Who's the leader in this? Do all the players chip in? Talk to me a bit more about the process.
Yeah, so drafting is like a very complex thing when it comes to pro play, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it basically sets you up for success like a lot, especially in these later seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't really know what goes on like behind the scenes when teams are like preparing for a draft. And basically, like we at Schalke, we have been putting a lot of emphasis on our drafts, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody has been putting in a lot of work. And basically, it's like everyone provides their input, and then the coach like decides what the best scenarios for us are, and like kind of like puts all the ideas together, and then from there on, you have the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of drafts that can happen, and you don't know what the enemy is gonna do. So like the more you prepare, the better for you on the day. And so far we have had a lot of preparations when it comes to drafting. So
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody put in a lot of effort, and therefore we end up with good drafts a lot of the times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
So
from the player side, I imagine it's just you guys playing a lot and sharing how you feel the matchups are among champions, or what good combinations are you've experienced online.
yeah, of course, the players like their voice is basically like, oh, I want to play this matchup or this matchup, or I can only play this champ if I'm facing this or this.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, basically like the players kind of choose their matchups, and then it's up for the coach to like decide like, okay, this matchup we can play, or like sometimes someone in the draft has to take like a worse matchup so someone else can get a better one, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like these kinds of questions is what the coach answers. And yeah, I mean, as long as we provide accurate info on how we should draft and what
Yeah.
matchups we want to play, then
Yeah, I kind of. It's good. That's the basic process, right? Still, I feel that most teams will have their players give feedback about how they want to draft and how not to. But what makes it so special that Schalke is getting ahead in these drafts so often? Why are you guys? I don't know. It's obviously a bit of a chess match, the pick and ban phase. But
Yeah.
how is it going so well for you guys?
So I think we currently have a good read on the meta. And although we don't like 100% follow what other teams do and consider the best, we like kind of also put our like own picks into our play style. And so far it just seems to work for us, And like we kind of have like we just pick what we believe currently is good. And we also do take some inspiration from other regions, but like we always try to put something from like our own into it,
Yeah. The next topic I want to touch on is actually more about you. I saw on your Twitter after you won your last game that you're very thankful for Schalke because, well, almost a year ago you were banned for being too toxic, and how you've developed over the course since then. So why did you all of a sudden feel so grateful? What prompted you to tweet that?
I mean, it was kind of like an appreciation tweet, or like rather that I recognize that like the work that I put in is like paying off, And it's been something that's been laying in my mind for quite a while now. And like when I look back at it, it's kind of like a miracle, right? Like me a year ago was like not so not so hopeful about my future as a esports player, and now that I look a year forward, like back at it, then I'm like kind of mind blown by like how much has changed in 1 year, Like I considered myself to be back at the bottom, like I'm probably never gonna play in LEC again, even though I believed I could, And it just feels like also the the incidents that led to me playing in LEC, they're also like I don't know, it's just life, I guess. Like Schalke picks up Forgiven, right? And then because he's kind of a douchebag, he like gets off the team,
Yeah.
and then randomly it's like a place that I can feel, just as I get unbanned. It's like things just falling into pieces, and there was like a path for me, and I took it, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful.
Yeah, I can imagine that opportunity must have been somewhat of a wait, is this really happening for you?
Yeah,
Am I
definitely.
actually gonna make it back? So about that development, then obviously when you get banned for toxicity and when you're facing the reality, I might never play pro again. Like, did you make adjustments following that to your behavior? Did you actively seek that, or did you start becoming more aware of that as you were presented the opportunity to play in the LEC again?
Well, basically, it was like a point in my life where I like realized and like looked at the way I see the game and solo queue and like other people, because in the past I would like someone's playing bad, right? I'm just gonna start flaming them. Even if I'm playing bad, I'm probably still gonna flame them, and it's just not a good approach, and it's an approach that I no longer have. I still get into conflicts with people because say someone is trying to like talk at me and I know he's wrong, then I'm still gonna fight, But I just don't have the mentality of like if someone else fucks up, I'm gonna flame him, because in the end it's just solo queue. It doesn't matter. Like the only thing that I should be looking at is my own performance, right? So I kind of put a lot less emphasis on solo queue ever since, and I just take it more chill. But
Yeah.
it's just like a process of maturing, I guess, that like I went through, and now I consider myself a different person.
Yeah, and you notice this also. Do you also notice how this affects you as a team member? Because you say, for solo queue, you put it aside when it's a discussion. But do you notice that this change and being able to put this aside also impacts you as you are as a teammate?
Well, to be quite honest, not really, I would say, because I never really had any issues with my teammates, or like I wouldn't be an asshole to people in real life, Like I wouldn't just flame my teammates. So like I always try to be as good of a teammate as I can. It was just really like a solo queue, like autism or whatever you want to call it, where I would just like flame people for no reason, or get into conflicts for no reason, or like call people things I wouldn't call them in real life, Because because you're kind of like forgetting that you're playing against real people. So
yeah,
that's what it really was.
It puts a barrier between you and them if you can't really see their face, I suppose. So thank you, Neon, for sharing that. Finally, to round up the interview, Schalke has been playing very well at the moment, and obviously you're looking to continue the streak next weekend. But is there anything you'd like to say to the Schalke fans who, well, supported you guys all the way through the miracle run, and now after a small hurdle in the first week, you guys are just keeping on running? So is there anything you want to say to them?
Well, I just want to say thank you for the support I've had. There's some really big Schalke fans that keep like hyping me up and cheering for me, so I'm really thankful for them. And I hope we'll continue doing good for you guys. And it's a pleasure to play.
Yeah, so they're very vocal on Twitter to support you guys. Oh, I see always the Schalke posts are always going mental.
Yeah, so yeah, thanks for cheering for us, guys, and we'll continue to try and play our best.
All right, Neil, thank you very much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you too, mate.